You walked into the grocery store this week. You grabbed your usual stuff: bread, chicken, some vegetables, maybe a bag of coffee. You got to the register, paid, and it felt fine. Not great, not cheap, but fine. Normal. So you left. And here's the thing. You were right. The numbers actually back you up. The Bureau of Labor Statistics published grocery data for March just last week, and prices fell, down 0.2%. Eggs got cheaper, meat got cheaper, cereals got cheaper. Your grocery bill right now is one of the calmest it's been in 2 years, which means this is exactly the moment you should be paying attention. Because the grocery store you walked into today, it doesn't know what's coming yet. The prices on those shelves were set weeks ago based on costs from months ago. And right now, 3 separate things are moving toward your local store, quietly, slowly, the way a tide comes in, and none of them have arrived yet. When they do, you won't get a warning. Here's something the grocery industry figured out a long time ago. You don't raise prices the same week your costs go up. You wait. Not because they're being kind, because raising prices too fast loses customers. So manufacturers absorb the hit for a while. Retailers hold the line a little longer. Everyone watches everyone else, waiting to see who blinks first. And then somewhere between 6 months and a year and a half later, the new prices show up on the shelf, all at once, across the whole store, because every contract in the chain repriced at the same time. That delay has a name in the industry. They call it the supply chain lag. And right now, that lag is loaded with a year's worth of cost increases that haven't hit you yet. The USDA's Economic Research Service tracks this. They've been watching the numbers build up in the pipeline, what manufacturers are paying, what distributors are charging, what retailers are absorbing, and what they see upstream doesn't match what you see at checkout. The upstream numbers have been rising since early 2025. Your checkout receipt hasn't caught up. It will. Forget the jargon for a second. Here's what's actually sitting in that pipeline, in plain terms. The tariffs first. When trade tariffs went up in 2025, every company that imports food ingredients, and that's most of them, quietly started paying more. They didn't immediately charge you more. They ate it, waited, hoped for a change in policy. Policy didn't change, so now those costs are moving forward through the supply chain, and analysts at the research firm Spins say the timing lands right now, between April and October 2026, when the contracts that were signed before the tariffs expire and get renegotiated at the new reality. The average American household is looking at roughly $1,681 in reduced purchasing power from tariff-related price increases, according to the Council on Foreign Relations. That's not a one-time hit. That's spread across every grocery run you take this year. Then there's the oil shock. When the Iran war disrupted global shipping in February, gas prices crossed $4 a gallon by the end of March, the first time since August 2022. You felt that at the pump. What you haven't felt yet is what that does to food. Everything in your grocery store got there on a diesel truck. The chicken, the bread, the milk, the frozen meals, all of it moved on fuel. When fuel costs spike, that cost travels through the entire food delivery system. Slowly, delayed, but eventually. Professors of food economics have been saying the same thing for weeks. The oil price shock doesn't hit grocery shelves immediately. It hits them a few months later when transportation contracts reprice. Those contracts are repricing now. And grocery prices overall are still forecast to rise another 3.1% on top of everything that's already happened, according to the USDA. That's not instead of the tariff impact or the oil shock. That's in addition to it.
Let's make this real. The average American family spends about $164 a week on groceries, according to the Food Industry Association. That's roughly $8,500 a year. A 3% increase on $8,500 is $255. That sounds manageable, until you remember that grocery prices are already 30% higher than they were 5 years ago. This $255 isn't replacing something, it's stacking on top of 5 years of stacking. And that's the baseline forecast before the tariff lag fully hits, before the oil shock works through transportation, before beef prices climb the 5.5% the USDA is projecting, before coffee, which is already up 34% from a year ago, goes higher still. Your coffee. Think about that one specifically. The bag you buy. Whatever you spend on it today. That number is already 34% higher than what you paid for the exact same bag a year ago. And the conditions that pushed it there, tariffs on Brazilian and Colombian imports, haven't reversed. They're still running. The price isn't coming back down. That's not temporary inflation. That's a new floor. Here's why this is hard to track in real time. It doesn't happen all at once. One week your pasta is a little higher, you figure it's just that brand. Next month, the cooking oil went up, must be a supply thing. A few weeks later, the chicken costs more. You remember it being cheaper, but you're not sure when. There's no single moment where you think, this is the pipeline repricing. You just slowly notice that the same cart costs more. And because it happened gradually, it's hard to point to why or when. This is not an accident. The University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Survey registered near recession-level readings in February. People feel something coming that the headline numbers haven't confirmed yet. 65% of Americans in a SmartSense survey said their grocery budgets feel tighter compared to last year. They're not imagining it. The pipeline is real. The costs are real. The delay is just doing what it always does. The calm period you're in right now is a window. Not a long one, but it's real, and it belongs to you. First thing, know your prices. Not approximately, exactly. Your top 20 items, what they cost today. Not because you need to obsess over every receipt, but because when prices move, you want to know immediately. Most grocery loyalty apps already track this if you let them. Second, for shelf-stable things you use constantly, cooking oil, pasta, canned goods, coffee, buying a modest extra supply right now at current prices isn't irrational. Prices are currently below where they're heading. That's the entire argument. Third, know your swaps in advance. For every high-exposure item, produce from Mexico, imported coffee, branded packaged goods, know the substitute you'd actually be okay with. Making that decision now, calmly, before the price moves, is always better than making it under pressure at the register. One more thing. Store brands. During the last big inflation cycle, national brands raised prices faster than store brands. Retailers protect their own label margins differently. That dynamic is likely to repeat. The store brand you've been too loyal to try is about to become interesting. Your grocery bill looks fine right now. The Purdue Center for Commercial Agriculture, which reads the food price pipeline for a living, called the March data the opening chapter of an inflation story, not a summary of it. An opening chapter. So here's the only thing I want you to do after this. Find your last grocery receipt. Add up what you actually spent. Write that number down somewhere you'll see it. Then check it again in September. That gap, whatever it is the supply chain lag with your name on it.